Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? Just doing a live to say hi. I've been getting some emails asking if I'm still around. Yeah, I'm very much still around. The Exodus house is still here. I'm in it, as you can see. Um, you know, Jojo and I have just been like, drilling down to get her ready for her exams. So that has been wrapped up. And yeah, just trying to get everything in order. So I have got a lot of emails about, people wanting to know more about like how did I, change my story around from, what they saw happening to me versus, here I'm in Tanzania, and that's what part 4 is about. And I'm really taking my time to put the work together because the content is going to be enlightening to a lot of people and informative to some people, but I want it to also signing my thesis film, which was how are you? Hi Kendra. Kendra, I had emailed you. I know some of the things that I put out in my film was important for you. So, I'm to the internet. Well, the internet is kind of chippy choppy right here. Maybe I should go upstairs and see if it will be better up there. But yeah, so I'm taking my time and I am busy during the daytime. I'm doing a lot of work, with the business and trying to keep everything afloat. And I don't think many people really understand like how difficult this situation is where I am, let me see if my office is open, where I'm here in Tanzania as a single mom and running a company and dealing with employees and dealing with the different contractors and the different people that we do business with. And here, everything is my responsibility. So I'm the only person from my company who is here actually doing the work. And so um, if I take my feet off the gas, everything just like collapses. Um, so it's kind of really, really, really difficult to do it all by myself. If there is a debt, it's my responsibility. If there is a bill, it's my responsibility. Whether or not there is money for it, it's my responsibility. And it's a lot, So I'm taking my time putting things together, especially at this time of the month. Thank you, Kendra. Yes. So yeah, part 4 is a consolidation of my thesis film. When I started at the New York Film Academy, my objective was to make a documentary about reparations, and it would be a huge documentary, and it would be so difficult for me to really cover the full content. And so I picked a particular conversation in reparations to have in that 25 minute slot for our thesis film. And so I started working on that film long before it was time for it to be due, because it takes about 9 months to film, interview, cut, edit, do all of the music, do everything and the sound for a proper film. And I thought, okay, I will never have this opportunity again to be in a film program where I would have access to all the people that I could talk to. So I made this beautiful, this beautiful script for what I wanted to do in reparations. And I got some very high profile people to speak on that film. And then COVID-19 hit. And I was unable to execute the film. And I got funding to execute the film, and I couldn't. And, so I had to shelf the film. But there are pieces in the film that I am able to use because it brings into context the whole conversation surrounding reparations and repatriation. In Jamaica, that is one single conversation. We never asked for money to stay in Jamaica. We didn't want reparations to stay in Jamaica and build up this place that has all these laws and rules that are written against people of African descent. The conversation has always been about reparations and repatriation. So in this telling of the story, I'm talking about the repatriation part. And I'm only beginning to tap into the reparations part, right? For me to make the reparations film that I want to make, it's going to require a lot of time and a lot of money, because I have to stay put. You can't edit and, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. It's not possible. You have to be focused on what you're doing, and you need peace and quiet and hours and hours and hours at a time in one single place to focus on the film. So when you see people are raising funds to make films that you're like, well, it's not a blockbuster, why do I need money for? Because it takes time. So the reparations part of the conversation is not the conversation I can have now, okay? But what I've done is I have made it so that there is an equality of understanding of the people of African descent, using my experience, our journey to Africa as, as the backdrop for how this story happens, right? So, yes, thank you. Wow. Wishes she was here. A lot of y'all would be here. I wish some people would come, because it's a lot. It's a lot for a single mom to say, okay, I'm coming to Africa. And I never had in my plans that I was going to do repatriation for other people. That was never in the plan. And for those of you who've been watching the channel for a very podcast, I was going to do my editing for you might have a plan, but Africa has a plan for you. So you have to be flexible. And, I was very reluctant to let go of the things that I had invested in, that I had planned for. I was very reluctant to let it go. And I said, I am being positioned, and my positioning is not just for me. My positioning is for me and other people to use the positions that I found myself in for the opportunity for other people to return to Africa. And I had to receive that, but it wasn't easy. It was not easy, because I know my limits, right? I'm a single mom, and I intend to be visible, present, and available in JoJo's life. It is not enough to be here, like she can see me. She wants to have conversations. She wants to play. She wants us to read a book. She wants us to snuggle. She wants us to spend time. She needs that kind of attention. And so that is what I committed myself to. So I was unable to really figure out the balance of how am I going to be, the filmmaker that I set out to be, this mom that I want to be, and this African destiny that has fallen into my lap. And I had to accept that the things that you all saw was not by chance. June 19th wasn't by chance. The things that happened to me was not by chance. The unexplainable things of what I had to go through was not by chance. And I had to hold on to that and embrace it and receive it, that none of this is by chance, that it happened to me. And it happened to me, who has a voice, who has the knowledge and the know-how. It happened to me, who I've written books and manuscripts that I never published on the same subjects that I went through. And it happened to me, and I sat on it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? It's unexplainable. Like people say, like, no one knows how someone will react if they commit murder, or if somebody else dies. Nobody knows their reaction. And my reaction is something that I've learned from a child, which is just keep going. Okay, just keep going. It doesn't matter what. If there is a fire, if whatever, just keep going. Just keep working, baby. Just keep working. Don't stop working. Don't look over your shoulder. Don't look back. Don't look back. Act like it never happened. Act like it never happened. And that was the energy that I had when I built this house. I couldn't look back. I couldn't take any of those hits and count them as a loss. I had to count every single hit as a win and just keep going. I had to just imagine in myself that every blow that was thrown at me was just to strengthen me. Everything that was meant to crack me was only cement to build me up. And that is the psychology that I had to use on myself. And I got a lot of hits, and it's exhausting. It really is absolutely exhausting, And these things happen because there are times when in life, when you are going to have to look back at your own self for your own inspiration and your own deliverance and your own power. You're going to have to look back at that. And, like in my 30s, I used to look back at myself as a teenager and go, well, damn, I wish that Renee would come back, because she was bad. She wasn't taking nothing from nobody. She wasn't playing with no one. She was a serious chick. And, so in my moments of doubt, I would look back and go, well, shoot, Renee at 17 what would she do? So I would have to tap into myself to rescue myself. And those things that occurred to me, that you saw in that documentary, those things occurred because I would need them, and you would need them, and other people will need them. Those stories are not just my stories. And like you all probably watched something on Netflix and go, wow, I needed to hear that. And over the years, a lot of you have emailed me like, wow, Renee, I really, really needed to hear that. And I was sitting on this mother load of information and just like, okay, but I was exhausted. I was absolutely, completely exhausted, tapped, and drained for all of the work that I've done here, And I said, before I go any further, before I commit myself to anything else, I have to speak my truth and where I come from and the strength and the power that is behind me. And unless I start talking about the testimony, it's like God made you walk, somebody cut your legs off and a miracle was worked in your life and you were able to walk. And you're like, well, I won't tell anybody. God will punish you for that stuff. So that's how I felt. I felt like I had this story, this thing inside of me that I was embarrassed about for no reason, because y'all saw what happened, but I was embarrassed for that. Very illogical. But over the years, if you have experience with abuse, what you will find is you will start to feel inadequate. You will start to feel undeserving. You will start to feel less than. You will start to feel how they want you to feel, even though what they are doing or what they did is not the truth, and it's not facts, and it's not reality. But people, especially the relationships that are closest to you, can injure you that way. And I was injured, and that's why I was so embarrassed, because this is an injury that happened and happened and happened over and over my whole life. But when this injury that I failed to address also injured my child, then that became something else. I had to say to myself, you are responsible. You knew this and you did not. You held your head down in embarrassment and shame, and you never overcame this situation because you were too embarrassed. And you lied to yourself that you have this family, and you lied to other people that you have this family when you know you don't. And I did not cut ties, right? But at the same time, I cannot be upset or angry, because in that time, I needed to stretch myself. I knew who I was. I was a professional. I have education. I have more than one degree. I have worked in multiple Fortune 500 companies. I'm a trusted consultant. People have paid me a lot of money just to talk to me. And yet, and still, that injury I allowed into my personal space, where someone could break me down to that place where I was insignificant. So maybe telling that story will help y'all, that these relationships that y'all be having, that is breaking you down in these ways and taking your self-respect, your self-esteem, your dignity, your pride, who you are in a person, what you've done in the world, what you have done for yourself, what you have done for others, taking that and minimizing you to dust. You need to sever those bonds. You need to cut those bonds. Okay? You need to cut those bonds, because you will injure yourself, or you may cause others to also be injured, how Johanna could have been injured, could have been stuck in that hell for the rest of her natural life, because I was stupid fooling around with people who don't like me. Okay? And yes, I'm a human being, and I'm an immigrant. And this is one of the things that always gets me is, when you travel from Jamaica and you go to America, you want to be around your family, you want to be around people who love you and care about you, okay? But sometimes friends, people who you're not related to by blood, are more valuable than those trauma bonds. Facts. Because if you could look at the time when this stuff happened, people were calling the cops on Black folk. People, all kinds of stuff was happening. People were getting shot and killed, COVID-19, and all of that. Regardless, I was still just dust. Okay? And so I was not humbled. I was depleted. There is a very big difference. Okay, hold on. Yep. This is what I know. Oh, so Kendra's sharing her. Yeah, when Kendra's sharing her story. Yeah, that's it. That was it. It took that, right? It took that. So light come back. We can turn on the light now. It took that, right? And I see some people in the comments saying, "Wow, you really turned your life around." My life was meant to turned around, okay? Because had I depended on those people to educate me, to provide for me, to take care of me, it would have never happened. It would have never happened. Fights would begin about simple things like wanting to learn how to drive, wanting to go back to school. Those are the fights that we had. They weren't about going to the club or having, you know, having people to the house or having it. That was never, though. Our fights were always about me wanting to do better and elevating myself. And I realized that I was not going to get that from that relationship. And much to their chagrin, I put myself through school. I financed myself. I taught myself to drive. I passed my driving tests on the first try. I bought my own car. I lived in my own apartment. I mind my own business. I pay my own bills. But when they have problems, they turn to me because I'm the person out there dealing with the world and I know how the world works. So, what I want to say to you all people, I'm taking my time with number 4. It is almost ready for, upload and completion, but I'm taking my time. I'm going back over it over and over and over again to make sure that the story does what it needs to do, okay? Which is enlighten, unify, and inform. But yeah, let me see. Kendra's here telling, she said she only had 3,000. But yep, this is the thing. What I know is if you mean to leave abuse and if you mean to leave any kind of bad situation, even if you walk out of that situation with $1, better believe you have to walk on faith. You better believe that the rest of the way will be paved for you. You have to look at it just like any other day. Like if you woke up with only $1 in your pocket, like any other day, you're still gonna eat, okay? You're still gonna eat. You're still gonna do the things that you need to do. You're still gonna get to where you need to get to. If you are running away from abuse, do you know that if you go to any bus station, any train station, and you tell them that you are fleeing domestic violence, it is law for them to facilitate you. Did you know that? You have, there are people lined up to help you that you have not even met yet, that you don't even know yet, okay? But for me, I needed to, my plan was to come to Africa. And I was preparing. I was prepared from the year before, but this film school, this documentary film school, I wanted to come to do the film program because I knew it was an asset that would help me. I knew that there were no jobs here. I knew that whoever it is that I was and making the kind of money that I was making, I would not have that kind of resource available to me when I came here. So I needed to be able to tap back in to something that will continue to provide for me and my child the way how I have been providing for myself. And that meant stepping back. It meant slowing down. It meant, giving up certain things. And those are some of the sacrifices that I made, and some sacrifices that you will have to make too if you're talking about coming here. Okay, you're gonna have to learn to do without air conditioning. You're gonna have to learn to take a cold bath once in a while. Okay, you're gonna have to learn to survive no matter what. And those little things that lull us into comfort in America, that keeps us in those situations, right? Those things, when you come here, you will be confronted with the opposite. And if you're not focused on, at least I have my peace of mind. If you're not focused on that, then you're going to find yourself extremely, extremely miserable. And that is how I have been able to hold on. Less of time, okay? Yeah, Tanzania is not easy. I've said it over and over and over again. Well, then it's not easy anywhere, and I'm already here. So let me try to make it work. And this is, for what it's worth, I set out to raise a child here, and you're not going to raise a and by allowing yourself to be rattled and allowing things that don't go right to capsize your boat, and allowing small people to get to you, and allowing bad mind and grudgefulness to be that you want to be. So if you don't have that transformation in your mind, that transformation, did I say it? Transformation. If you don't have that mental transformation when you come here, okay, because you didn't leave you back in the States. You're taking you with you. Okay, and environment does a lot. Okay, I heard in a spoon of soil. You cannot grow an apricot seed in a spoon of soil. And I know that I'm an apricot seed. I know that I'm producing a big tree with big fruit. And I know that the small soil and the small things that the society provides and the environment provides in the States does not allow you to stretch and grow and become the person that you see yourself to be. Okay, so so don't let anybody say, oh, you think y'all that. Maybe you are all that. Maybe you are all that, and you just cannot be all that in that environment. So you have to check yourself, right? So let me see here. Yeah, you have to check yourself. You have to check yourself and make sure that the environment, the surroundings, the people around you are not putting you in the position where you are this big old apricot seed trying to grow in a teaspoon of soil. Okay, you have to make sure of that. You have to be the one who is guarding your senses, your relationships, your all of that stuff to make sure that your people are not taking you down when you're trying to pull yourself up. Okay? And like out of that experience, I do not, the Jamaican people say I'm gonna trust people, because you are thinking one thing and someone else is thinking something else completely, right? So watch yourself. You know what I'm saying? Watch yourself, watch your environment, prepare yourself if you're looking to go to Africa or Malaysia or Thailand or wherever it is that you think you're going. Just remember the people, you're leaving them behind, but you're also taking you with you. Okay? So the bad habits that you have in the States, you're going to have them here. Okay? The bad things that you normally do, you're going to do those things here. The things that you shouldn't be participating in, that you are participating in, you're going to be doing or wanting to be doing, do those things here. So if you're a party animal and you like to be out in the street, this might not be the party for you. Okay? This party, this African party, is about entrepreneurship and business. Seriously. There is no other way to say it. You, as an immigrant coming to Africa, you are here to provide jobs and opportunities to others. No one is looking to provide a job and opportunity to you. In their eyes, you are already skilled. You already speak English as your first language, as your mother tongue. You write English as your mother tongue. You have education. You know how to use technology that they don't. You have things that they don't have access to. You have been acculturized to living in a more advanced society as far as technology is concerned. So you cannot come here looking for the developing world to develop you. You have to be developed. You have to be the full package. You have to be in the perfect space, and a space in your mind as perfect as you can be in your own imperfections. Okay? You have to be putting aside some of the things. If you're smoking and you're drinking and you're this and that and out in the street, that's not gonna fly here. If you're out there doing the harlot stuff and trying to pull men and da 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 da, this is not the party for you. If you're out there trying to do this and do that and see how you can get over on other people, this is not the party for you. Okay, this is the real party. This is for the grown folks. So you have to eliminate certain things in your character, in your behavior, in your habits before you get here. Okay, because you choose spit out. You cannot come to Africa and try to make it the United States of Africa with the psychology and everything all hanging out and everything all that stuff, and you think you're right about everything because your country and your culture and an abuse culture like America thinks that they're always right about everything because America, right? So you have to have some wherewithal about you. You have to have a business plan. You have to be ready to change that plan because Africa will change it for you. Whatever it is that you think you are gonna do, you are not going to be doing that in the way that you want to do it because the environment will change your goals, your outlook, your everything. Okay? Not always for the positive, sometimes for the negative. For example, one of the things that we were looking at was like, okay, we're going to do sales to particular corporations. When into certain corporations, they have a 90-day policy to repay you. Who can do business with a company that pays you back in 90 days? So you have to spend money up front and then wait 90 days to get that money back. And then the return on that 90 days is there are better things to do with your money. So you have to really think about what it is that you're looking to do. And you're not going to know all the details until you are doing what you are trying to do. Okay? And this is why I keep saying that it is important that we have people who are looking to come to Africa as investors, as people who are looking to start whatever company they want to start. They can start it under our company with, through partnership as an investor, because the paperwork and the stress of getting all of that together is another company in itself in Tanzania. It's expensive, it is costly, it is time consuming, and you have to account for the time that you are not being productive. So you might have all of this energy to say, okay, I'm going to go out there and do it. Yeah, let's go do it. And you will find yourself dampened along the way. You will find yourself humbled along the way, because the process is not business friendly, and you're going to find yourself questioning yourself. So if you're looking to come to Tanzania to set up a company, set up a business, it is probably best to invest in a company that is already established. It is always easier to invest or buy than to build. Okay? And that's something that I learned. So, a lot of people are asking about, oh, I want to do what you're doing or something similar in Dar es Salaam. And I would not advise. And that's a very difficult thing for someone like me to say, who is very pro-Africa and is very pro-Tanzania and is very pro-development. But where it comes to business and doing business here, it is not productive. And I think when I set up the Exodus House and I had so many people coming, and I myself did not realize how difficult it would be for other people, I felt like, okay, I am responsible for these people. And I went above and beyond and overextended myself and drained myself trying to accommodate people, extending their visas out of my own pocket, renting houses that they went behind my back and went to the landlord and took away from me. No, there are a lot of things that I did here that, had it been somewhere else, thank you, just water please. Had it been somewhere else, it would not have been so costly and painful to me. So I am very careful about telling people, yeah, y'all need to come to Tanzania and come over here and do this and do that. If you have the resources, you have to have a careful plan. And if your plan, just put it this way, if you came here and said, okay, I wanted to invest in coffee and export coffee, it's going to take you at least 6 months to get that export license. That's 6 months that you're not productive. Don't think that in that 6 months, you're going to be able to, yeah, I'll just do business with the farmers and I'll do this and I'll do that. If you do it that way, you will find yourself burning yourself at both ends. Okay? So you have to count that this is 6 months of non-productivity as you're setting up your company. You have to recognize that. That's 6 months of eating, 6 months of rent, 6 months of light, 6 months of water, 6 months of phone, 6 months of the internet, 6 months of school fees, 6 months of everything. Bam, the 6 months is over. Don't expect to start making money just because that 6 months is over and you got the paperwork. The paperwork is only the entry fee. You still have to go out and do the negotiations. You still have to go out and learn your industry and connect with people and meet people. And bam, another 6 months go by because you're trying to push out your coffee, right? But that you're trying to push out your coffee, there are other people who are selling coffee. Thank you. There are other people who are selling coffee, so you have to differentiate yourself in the market. How are you going to do that? You have to work on your packaging and work on your strategy, right? And that's going to take you another 3 months. Bam! That's another what? Almost 9 months gone by. And that you're not productive, where you're not actually making money. So I would think for me, Renee, this is not you, this is for me. For me, my plan is to stay in Tanzania and provide jobs and process and produce and manufacture and do as many things as I possibly can to create jobs and opportunities in Tanzania. It is a noble pursuit. It is easier said than done. And so I see and I get it and I understand because there are so many hurdles that you're going to encounter, from the banking to online system. Like me as a web developer, we don't have a website because the bank's transaction process is ridiculous. And then the shipping from our offices to go to the ministry each and every time. So if I have an order for one package, I have to go to the ministry the 3 hours to go and process. So it is just amazingly static. And this is why I'm saying it is better to partner with a company that already exists. And what I'm talking about is not something new. There are companies who actually do that. I know Tanzanian people who they partner with cashew buyers in India, and they do the export and do the entire process for them, because it is a veritable nightmare. It is an unadulterated horror show, for lack of a better word, right? So you need a team, you need a legal team, you need people, you need money, and you need time, right? But so that's some of the things concerning business. But the other things that you're looking for, if you're talking about peace and quiet and finding yourself, I don't think there is, maybe I'm wrong, I'm sure there are other places, but for me, I find Dar es Salaam to be peaceful. I find it to be quiet. Coming from a place like Jamaica, where you're afraid sometimes to be at a certain place after a certain hour, if you're even on the beach, anything can happen. It's happened to me. What's the thing? A real example of something to be afraid of. But whereas Tanzania, I have found a lot of peace as far as the things that I'm looking for to raise Jojo, as far as the quality of the food, the quality of the environment, the quality of the people, the quality just to be able to see. Mhm. Yes, excuse me. It helps with your balancing, right? So whereas and looking next or Tanzania has a lot of culture, dignity, self-respect. When I turn on the TV, I'm not concerned about what is Jojo seeing. When we're driving down the road, I'm not concerned about what she is seeing and introducing certain ideas to her that is not a part of her upbringing, right? So those things, those kinds of the moral things, the things that make up a culture, that is here in abundance. So on one hand, you have like the business is like, what? But on the other hand, it's like way, 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 way up there, way up there. So I encourage people who are looking to vacation in Tanzania, come to Tanzania. It is an extremely beautiful place. There are islands. It's like Hawaii. It really is like the Hawaii of Africa. It is really very beautiful. And if you are looking to vacation or looking to come and connect with Africa or looking to just come and look around, come on through. We still sell our CMOS. We are still running our CMOS cafe in Dar es Salaam and Masaki. At this point, I really do need people who are looking to come, or people who are looking to invest and partner with the CMOS business to communicate with me. It is a lot of work for one person. And like I said, you can't, no one can be upset and angry that there is not enough for the diaspora, for the African diaspora. We can't be mad. I don't think we can be mad because we have not been coming. We have not been visible. We have not been asserting ourselves. We have not, we are not here, right? We're not here and doing the kind of work that makes the impact in Africa. So you have to have a bigger picture. Yes, you want to come for your family and you want to come to give your family a better life, but you should also extend that at least 10 to 20 people out. If that's all you can do, like, okay, all I am here for is to take care of my family, but my family also needs, this, or my family needs that, or my family needs somebody to make things, or my family needs, you need to extend yourself out at least 20 people. Look at your surroundings and say, these 20 people, I can give them this job to, this person braids my hair, this person makes my furniture, this person is my plumber, this person is my electrician, this person is my housekeeper, this person is my gardener, this person is my dressmaker. You have to look at yourself and extend yourself out. If that's all you want to do is just come here and live, that's cool. But you should also look at the people that you can impact around you, and not in a sense of entitlement, like, I'm here to provide you jobs, I'm here to give you, no, we can't be having that. No, 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 no. Okay? You're gonna find a few bad apples in the bunch, which is life, right? So you cannot look as if you're looking down on Tanzanians. And this is one of the things that I find that I'm battling all the time, is how you can't leave from an abuse culture and come and be the abuser. That doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. What you have to do is say, I know what it feels like to be abused, to be put down, to be less than, to be a second-class citizen, like I don't count or it don't matter. And I don't like that feeling. and I would like to make sure other people don't feel that way around me. That's how you have to do it. Hey, TNT, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, TNT. So TNT, yes. They're planning to come back okay, no problem. I'll just go ahead and put my email here for anybody who would like to come. You know, I have all different kinds of plans that I want to do, like a single mom's retreat. I want to do all this stuff, but I'm just one person. So, you know, I have to, you know, do things in small increments. So what I need is, if the things that I did or went through or whatnot, or what I've done so far touches you, I cannot continue to do how I've been doing by myself. I'm at a place now in my business where I need to, right? 2023 has been an extraordinary year. Was it difficult? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 2023 is probably one of my most difficult yet. Brutal. But this year, doing the in the restaurant, you know, I did so much work inside there. I poured cement, I built the fence, I built a water tower, got a water tank, the water pump, ran electricity for all of that, ran electricity for the air conditioning twice, because the first time it wasn't effective in the position it was in, ran electricity for the fans, be on top of the people for the tables and the chairs, design the seating, you know, all of that. And then within the same week of like, okay, I just finished one project, you know, just finished like putting in the cabinets, putting in the cupboards. I converted the space into a kitchen. And then I went straight into running and managing and cooking. And I think that restaurant threw me off in so many ways. It is unbelievable. It threw all of my plans and all of my projects like out the window, because I am the only Jamaican cook. When I set out to set up that restaurant, I knew I would have to bring another cook from Jamaica, but I didn't even have the time or the opportunity to go out and seek another cook, because it was just back to back to back. And, you know, all that came in went right out. It came in, it went right out, which is how a restaurant business goes. But as far as a proof of concept, I can tell you that Tanzanians are ready for this CMOS thing. They're ready for the CMOS Cafe. They come in, they buy the gels, they buy the scrubs, they buy everything that I make. They come in for the food, they come in for everything. But as far as a one-man show and commuting 2 hours each way, I hit a point where I'm like, okay, I need to get help. And that's where I am now. I have the Exodus house. I have people coming for events, wanting to book the space for weddings, but someone has to be here to run that. I have the restaurant, people, you know, to cook the food, that alone in and of itself. And at the same time, I have to run the finances. I'm the one who has to work with the accountant to give an account for all that goes in and all that comes out. That is not possible. It simply is not possible that the same person can do those things with the same kind of time commitment. So at the end of every month here in Tanzania, you have to file your finances and you have to pay an accountant a certain amount of money, because only a certified accountant can do that. And so it is just extraordinarily ridiculous and time consuming. So I'm taking a step back and looking for partners, investors, buyers, people who are looking to come to Tanzania, who are looking to book at the Exodus house. It is a beautiful, beautiful space. it really is a great space for people to come and be and relax. For those of you who are just joining the chat, I was talking about part 4 earlier. So part 4 is coming, you know, but may make the reparations documentary. I would need support to do that. I would need time to do that. And that's something I do not have a lot of right now, to say the least. So for those of you who are looking to come, looking to book, looking to make your reservations, remember it is a villa. We don't have a whole lot of space and a whole lot of bedrooms here. However, if you are, so you need to make your reservations early. There are some months in October of next year that is like, people are like, okay, I'm making my reservations to come at this time. So, you know, people have to understand, like, it's not like I have a big old hotel with 20 rooms. We have only 6 bedrooms here. So, you know, we have to, if you're looking to come, you have to be on top of that because other people are, right? So that is what I'm looking for, and I'm talking about today. But I wanted to also, because, you know, people like Kendra, she has been like, you know, telling me all of her experiences and what's been going on with her. And so, you know, people have emailed me and people are leaving messages, and I wanted to make myself visible so that if people had questions or wanted to talk about some of the things that they saw in the film, you know, because there is really nowhere to put that kind of stuff, right? So, you know, if you wanted to email me and just, you know, touch base with me, I appreciate it. And I appreciate those of you who have emailed me and, you know, sent me your support and communicated with me, and gave me encouragement, because it was a lot. It was a lot, and I am in some ways still, I'm no longer processing, and I'm not going to say I'm healed, but what I'm going to say is that I am in a better place than when those things initially happened, because they have been happening to me since I was really young. So there are things that I did not take into my consciousness, like, you know, how I didn't take those things, some things I didn't take into my consciousness. But the things that I did take into my consciousness was the embarrassment, right? And, you know, I've even had people, you know, lower than a snake, sent me a not so kind message without seeing parts 2 and 3. And I thought to myself that that if you can let someone being as transparent as glass, and talking about something that has brought them pain and shame that no longer does, that they own that, even if it's not a mistake or something that they did on their own, and you can look to weaponize that, you're lower than dirt. You are lower than dust. I put that story out there, not for me, but for you, for other people. I already went through it. I already processed it. I already healed in some ways from it, that it no longer has power over me. But that story was not just me. It didn't just happen to me. It also happened to Johanna. And so I needed to also put the story in a way that probably in the future she may need that story. And for all of the other people who have gone through some stuff that didn't have cameras to record, that because I went through stuff that I didn't record before. And I didn't have the wherewithal to put together in a film. I went through some crazy stuff. That is the craziest thing I have ever gone through with her. But there are things that she has done that was right up there, very, 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 very close to that. But this was the most sadistic, mischievous, malicious, vindictive, cruel, spiteful, and hurtful thing that anyone has ever done to me on this planet. And it was my mother. So, you know, the way I look at that, I used to look at it as, well, if my mama could do that to me, what else are people gonna do to me? That used to be how I processed that. And I would be so embarrassed by it, but I don't look at it anymore. I look at it that if I could fight and win my own mother, I can fight and win anybody. I look at it. I don't look in that way anymore, that I am the victim and oh, was live my life as the anti-victim. That the image of the broken woman that society wants of Black women. Of, I don't even think they think about what happened to you. They think you go somewhere in a corner and cry. But we're built differently. We're not built to go in a corner and cry. We were never built to go in a corner in tears anymore. I think generationally, Black women don't really have those kind of tears anymore. I don't think we can actually go and well, this happened to me, and let it destroy us. We can't. We don't, because there's so much expectations of us. There's too much you, and you have to go to them on your face. You got to bring home and then cook dinner. And then talk to, you know, your family, and then pretend it's all okay. So I don't think people realize that switch. Why? It's the switch that her grand and her great great grand and her great 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 grandmother had. It's the switch that said, oh, hell no. Okay? No, no to the nopity nope. No, no, no. It, see me? People really understand someone else. Excuse me. And that someone else that I became, that is the person that people met when they came to Tanzania. So they met someone with boundaries, and a lot of people didn't like it. Even though I was still trying to be kind and helpful and supportive, I had my boundaries. I needed to have those boundaries because I had to protect myself. Because had I not protected myself, I would find myself in positions that I am people pleasing and I'm not supportive to myself or my daughter because I would be going above and beyond to prove something to someone who eventually or probably didn't care to begin with. So y'all need to check yourself, right? And for those of you who are in these situations that I'm talking about, right, by all means, get yourself out. But if you can't get out, work, honey, work, work. I have put out books. You can Google me on Amazon, right? I've got books on Amazon. I've got stuff in the world that when I produced those things, I was being abused. I was in by the same person. I was in the belly of the beast. Okay. My professional life is like, oh, like this. And my personal life is like, I live in a gladiator's den. It's like I'm always being thrown around and ripped around and whipped around and dragged and trashed like a rag doll. And those two people could not exist in the same place and in the same space anymore. I had to make a decision for Johanna. Who do I want Johanna to see as her mother? Who do I want Johanna to be as a person? How do I want her to treat me? Because if you are in an abusive relationship, parental abuse, spousal abuse, sibling abuse, this is all domestic violence. But if you're sharing the same roof with someone, that is domestic violence. It doesn't matter who it is. But if you happen to have a child in that situation, you better believe that child is also learning how to treat you and mistreat you and talk to you and abuse you equally, if not worse, than this abusive person in your life. Okay, so for the sake of your children, you have to learn how to remove yourself from situations that do not respect or support you. And when you do move, have the gall and the self-respect to cut all ties. Cut them permanently if you can. People know when they have hurt you. And the way you respond is through removing yourself permanently. As we're saying in Jamaica, take away yourself. If you value and you respect yourself, take away yourself. Because somebody else, somewhere else, is going to value and respect you. For me, I needed to be a whole parent because Joanna only has the one. She only has me as her mother. So when I let somebody else come in and do me up and leave me to as dust, what is left for her? Nothing. So I have to look at what is it that I am trying to give? And are these relationships supportive or are they depleting from my well that my child must drink from? So I have to be conscious of that, and you have to be conscious of that as well. You are valuable and you are important. And you need to go and look in the mirror and say that too. You are valuable and you are important. You are very important to people that you probably haven't even met yet. You're important. Don't let nasty people draw you down, make you feel like you're not, try to pick you apart, try to make you question yourself, try to make you feel like you're not you're not of any value, right? Don't allow that. That doesn't mean you have to be argumentative. That doesn't mean you have to be quarrelsome. That doesn't mean you have to be a person who is always getting in people's faces. And that doesn't mean you have to, well, you ain't gonna do me that this. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to spend your energy like that. All you have to do is sharpen yourself. Sharpen yourself. Let them use their energy to sharpen you. And when they sharpen you enough, you go out where you can cut through anything. You can cut through anything that gets thrown in your way. Okay? Whatever stones they use is going to be your stepping stone. Whatever mud they throw on you, you're going to use that and make bricks. If they close the door, jump through the window. Okay? But until you are dead, no one can put you under and bury you. Don't let them do it. Don't let them have that. Okay? You are a thing of goodness that was created by God. And if you know that your mission is good in the world and what you've been doing is good and your intentions are good and you're working towards goodness, just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. Okay? You don't have to be anybody else but you. You don't have to get all crazy. You know, you don't have to get wild. You don't have to get wild on nobody. Okay? And just know that if you're living the best way that you possibly can, God will fight your battles for you. You don't have to be wild. You don't have to be crazy. You don't have to go and, yes, mega, you don't have to be all of that. You don't have to waste that energy. You don't have to. You can write. You can watch a movie. You can go and have a snack. You can go for a walk. You can go for a run. You know, one of the things that I did was I made little micro docs. And I'm going to share one of the micro docs in part 4. I make micro docs, little short micro docs. And that's something that I've been doing for years. And if I had a business idea, I go in and make a PowerPoint. And I would go and I'd look at this PowerPoint over and over and over again. And I would tweak this business idea, this plan. I would look at it and I would do the research on it. And I'd find the information that I don't know. And I'd go read a book about what exactly is this that I'm looking at or thinking? What is the actual term for the word that I was not educated in, but I have this idea? Maybe I want to make this bakery or something, and I need to know about the equipment that I would need. And so that is how you have to pour into yourself when other people are trying to take from you. Okay? If somebody tells you that your bacon ain't no good, get better at it. In this day and age in YouTube, you can learn to be a good baker. If somebody tells you that you don't know how to do hair, you will never know how to do hair, you got 2 left thumbs, whatever, okay, go practice. Practice until you get great at it. And that is the things that nobody can take away from you. No one can take it out of you. Nobody can take out education. No one can subtract it. It is in there and it's gonna be there. It's like learning to read. You can't unlearn to read. You can't, right? So pour into yourself. One of the things that I like to do for myself every year is I used to go and take courses. I used to go and take a new course every year. So I have all of these certifications and I thought I would never use none of that stuff. And people would tell me to my face that you're overeducated and overqualified and you're dumb as hell and you will never use any of that stuff. Well, guess what? When I came to Tanzania, I found me a piece of land and I found me a dilapidated house and I used every single one of those skills. There is not one of them that has been wasted since I have been in Tanzania. Not one of them. From real estate, project management, construction, business development, marketing, packaging, all of that good stuff. Every single one of them have been used. So this is, and including filmmaking. So this is what I'm gonna say is pour into yourself, learn new things, right? It doesn't even have to be in preparation for Africa if you're not trying to move to Africa, but just pour into yourself the things that interest you. You don't have to justify that to anybody else. Okay, and we have a tendency to go and say, well, I wonder if they're going to like this, or they're not going to like it, and they're not going to support it because they probably don't even like you. Okay, and they're not going to find anything good to say to you any old way. So it's not for them to approve or disapprove, or not for them to lift you up or cut you down or judge you or be the N word or the yay or the nay. If you have a vision, you work on your vision, you do your research, you read a book, you go down to the library, you get some information. You don't have to have nobody to talk to about it, just you. Okay, and the day when you stop working on it is the day it dies. So they don't have the right. Nobody can do that to you, but if you allow them to. So all that you see part 4 is going to be what I was talking about is nobody, I give nobody that power over me. The only person who has power over my life and my death is great God Almighty. That is who has power over me. And I give all of my energy to that creator who created me for his purpose, so he can sharpen me. Because I can tell you this, that without that experience, the things that I have managed to accomplish, I probably would not if I had like a loving, kind, wonderful mommy who was, there to like kiss my boo-boo and pat my head and tell me it will all be okay, and and give me a safe space to be and a safe person. I probably would still be there. And many of you who have come here and have had the experience of living through my vision and and appreciating what I have done here. I have touched more people, even those who have not even been here. I have touched more people because of that wretched experience. And so I am grateful for it. You have to be grateful, just like how you like when the nice things happen and you make the big sales and the good money come and everything nice and everything is all right. Thank you, Ali. And everything is nice. You have to embrace the have to appreciate and say only God has the vision of foresight to know what this is about. Okay? And I'm presence of the terrible things. I had the presence of mind to know that too was also the working of the creator, and I had to appreciate it and receive it. And everything that happened after that was the positioning, was receiving the positioning, because none of this was by my own volition. I didn't choose for what was going to happen to me in JoJo. I did not choose that, but I had to receive the messages that were coming behind it and work towards whatever it is that I was being positioned towards. Yes, there you go. Yes, there you go. Ali says it. Yeah, you lift yourself instead of, you want to say hello? Look how big you are. That's my cookie. Wow, who is that? You. That's me? That's you. Oh, this look more like you. You. Rainbow hair. Rainbow hair? Okay, you made this for me? Thank you. It's beautiful. Give me a kiss. All right, I'll soon come. Did you eat? Okay, all right. All right. Okay, cookie wookie. Okay, go. I'm doing a live. Okay, y'all. Let me go. I've been snatched. All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for watching.